How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
Are we live?
Here we go.
Are we live now?
We're live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another week of Story of the Fight. My name is Ramiro. This is Will. And in the background, we have Rich the Casual, our producer. Rich is on. Hey, really exciting, though. Really exciting.
What's that?
Rich the Casual, I got him to watch some UFC fights last night.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Was he there with you?
He was there with me, yeah. But before we get going and I let you know about it, anybody that likes our content, just letting you know, you can find on Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere podcasts are found. Social media, Will?
Yeah, it's at Story of the Fight on Instagram and Twitter. And we have a Facebook group chat called Story of the Fight Chat, where you can talk to us about fighting. Your
boy was tweeting last night.
Where are you? That's weird because I didn't see you pop up on the stream.
Dude, I was tweeting away.
That's weird. They put like one of the Paul brothers. I saw they put like Zayn Malik and stuff. You think they would have put you up there?
Dude, I'm waiting for the day where it's just like Story of the Fight says this, and then
commentary's trash tonight.
Yeah, Dana, pay your fighters. They would never post that.
Yeah,
but no, yeah. So, Rich the Casual, I had hit him up a while back, and I said, "Hey, if there's gonna be a fight card that you start off watching, let's start off with this fight card over here. Mm-hmm. Come on over, watch these fights with me." Yeah. And he came through. So there's no NBA, there's no excuse. And Rich, what'd you think of the fights?
Have you guys heard of this guy named Volkanovski before?
He was so impressive.
That dude was insane. I mean, I'm not a savant or anything. I'm not Rain Man, nothing like that. But when that choke got slipped in by Ortega, like Ramiro was like, "It's over," and I was like, I don't think it's over. Like I said that out loud. I was like, I think he's gonna make it. And dude, he slipped out of that choke, and then he slipped out of the triangle choke. And like I was like, I was out of my chair. And like there was so many other moments where I was like, holy shit, but that like just took the cake. Like it was like so often, game 7, it doesn't, or game 7 in a playoff series doesn't live up to the hype. It's like every time there's a main event, that's basically the end of the series for an NBA playoff game. And
basically
it really lived up to it, and you get it all in the same night, which is kind of crazy. I'm looking forward to.
Rich the Casual's turning into a fan, dude.
I'm just gonna see if it's more exciting next time I check it out in like 6 months or whatever. But
in like 6 months,
y'all have fun.
Rich is going into his off season now for UFC. He watched one major event. No, but it was a lot of fun, man. He brought his girlfriend Araceli over last night. Very sweet girl as well. She seemed to be into the fights also. But yeah, it was a blast. We had a really good time. And just watching Rich soak it in, I was a proud dad.
Nice.
Sitting there just watching him get excited over these fights.
Yeah. Shout out to HLD Comer. Welcome to church, man. What a crazy night that was.
It was a crazy night.
That was nuts.
I mean, just leading up to this, and we're talking what fights are we going to talk about, right? Because we don't want to make this a 3-hour-long podcast, but we could talk about the entire card if we wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, it was nuts. I mean, from the very first fight, it was like, I mean, what a fun night, It was just absolute. Dude, the matchmaking has gotten so good in the UFC. Every once in a while you get a mismatch, right?
Ever since I became part owner, I feel like things have started to change.
Yeah.
I just
feel like every once in a while there's a mismatch, right, where everyone complains about it, right? Or a fight that doesn't deserve to happen, like Usman versus Colby, the second one, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'll talk shit about that all the time, but what goes like consistently unnoticed and no one really talks about it is just like, I mean, how many fights were there last night? 13 fights. 13 fights, and the majority of them were phenomenal. So, like, I don't know. I guess it should go without saying because it's their fucking job to put on good fights, right? That's what they do.
Entertainment.
But goddamn, do they deliver sometimes?
So you want to go and get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
There's a lot to cover. We'll start off, of course, with the main event, Volkanovski versus Ortega. And like Richard Casual said, he's like, have you ever heard of this guy named Volkanovski? Dude, what a fun main event for Rich the Casual to have as his first main event.
Seriously.
It was an instant classic.
People are calling it fight of the year already. It's a toss-up, right? It's still fresh on the mind, right? Recency bias, but like it's in the running. You can say. I think I put even in the description of this video, they turned it an instant classic, right? Like you just said. I mean, dude, it was. First off, let's right off the bat say we both picked this fight incorrectly. But we almost picked it to a T. Very close to we predict this fight completely. As Rich puts up that, can you go back to that guillotine choke, Rich? I jumped out of my chair.
Me too.
It jumped out of my chair. I mean, it was just me, my dad, Kevin, and then Barry came out and watched the pay-per-view with us, the pay-per-view portion of it. And I mean, all of us were like, "Oh my god!" Like, what the fuck is? It was like, I mean, the first round was very close, right? Volkanovski took it though, right? I was wrong about how the stand-up was going to go in this fight. I thought Ortega was going to be able to keep him away a little bit better, but Volkanovski did a great job. I mean, his jab was like a lightning bolt, not just in speed, but like it looked like it shocked Ortega every time he hit him with it. And then to see the damage that Ortega started wearing over the course of the night, to be able to jump on that submission in the third. And that's what we thought, right? We're like, eventually he will grab a hold of him and he will set up a submission. And people don't really get out of his submissions. And here we are with Volkanovski getting out of 3 of them.
Anik, I think, said it best. He said, apparently Volkanovski doesn't have to breathe like the rest of us. That was such a good line from Anik. Yeah. But I'll go on record right now and say I have been so wrong about Volkanovski this entire time. I still sit here and like I said it on the prediction episode where I felt like Max Holloway won those last 2 fights. You know what? I still stand by that. I feel like Max Holloway won those fights. But because of that feeling, I felt like Volkanovski probably was going to lose his belt quickly after that. Like he wasn't as well-rounded as I thought. But then, man, I didn't take into consideration that those were very close fights against Max Holloway. Very close. Very close. And Max Holloway is who I consider to be the one of the best featherweights of all time. Him and Jose Aldo very close, right? Yeah. So the fact that he even had those fights be so close says a lot about Volkanovski, and I didn't take that into consideration. And Brian Ortega is very good too, man. Very good. But damn, like I need to give Volkanovski his respect. I need to give Volkanovski the respect that he needs. So, my bad. That's
Bruce Bob Trotter.
Bruce Bob Trotter. Valentina versus sister next. Sister versus sister action. Only option left. Look, we'll go on to the Valentina Shevchenko fight next because I do have some things to say about that as well. But mad props to Volkanovski. He's a true champion. For him to survive that guillotine choke, when they asked him how tight was it in the press conference, he didn't shy back and say like, honest. No, he straight up said it was, oh shit, I'm losing my title tight. That's what went through his head. So,
yeah. Shout out Bruce again. Only reason Volk got out of those chokes. P-head goblin with 0 neck. I mean, that'll get you out of chokes, right?
I don't know, man, because some would say I'm a P-head goblin myself, and it was hard for me to choked out. I got choked out.
People forget Volk won 2 kickboxing matches against Max. Just because he was able to outstrike the zombie doesn't mean he can hang with somebody elite like Max Volk on the feet. Definitely.
No,
I I thought he was going to have more issues with the range of Ortega because I thought he would be less willing to get close to Ortega like he was willing to get close to Max. That's what I thought was going to happen. And he was like, I
thought he'd be more concerned about getting clinched, getting taken down.
Yeah.
And you saw like for me, the changing point was the headbutt. You could see it. It
was a significant moment.
You could see it in Ortega's eyes. His nose got busted up after that. He had to start breathing out of his mouth a lot more. So it was a pivotal moment in the fight. Now, was that everything? No, it wasn't everything. Volkanovski, again, did an excellent job. He had a great game plan going in. But, man, he did a great job. Great job. Yeah. Again, escaping not just the guillotine choke, but we talk about the fact that he also escaped a triangle choke from T-City.
Dude, the shot.
You know why they call him T-City?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dude, the shot of when he got him in the triangle and it cut, and for a brief second, we can see Volk just eyes wide staring into Ortega while he's trying to breathe in that triangle. I was like, this is fucking crazy. There's nothing else like this sport. I mean, that was insane.
It was right that he went for afterwards, too.
Yeah, which I think that was the mistake. That was the biggest mistake Ortega made throughout the night.
But, Volka capitalized afterwards after getting out of the guillotine. After getting out of the triangle, after getting out.
Nasty ground and pound.
Of the doors, some bad ground and pound, man. And who was it? Herb Dean? Props to Herb Dean.
He called out the fight. I don't know. I don't really want to give him props because he waved off the fight and then just kind of quietly was like, "Oh, never mind."
I don't think he called it off. Did he?
He waved it off. Dude, he did. He literally, once you do that, the fight's supposed to be over. He waved it off.
This was at the end of the third round?
At the end of either the third or the fourth.
I want to say it's the end of the third after he got out of the guillotine choke, where he's like leaning on top of him, just like
it was up against the cage. So I think it was after he got out of the triangle.
Okay.
Because it was the triangle the same round? I don't fucking know. Dude.
I don't remember. It was just a crazy fight.
But there was a moment at the end of a round where he got basically saved by the bell from ground and pound up against the cage, and Herb called it off.
Wait, time out. Bruce Globetrotter. I just read this right now, and it's hilarious. Unfair advantage, really. When fighters literally have zero neck, people with zero neck should be in their own division.
Yeah.
They can fight for the necklace belt. I don't know if they'll. I don't know if they'll ever make that division. If they're not willing to make the 165-pound division, they're probably not going to make the necklace division.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
But HLB Comer's right. This dude, I think it was at the end of the third. I have to rewatch it, but at a certain point, if an official called it off. He called it off. Rewatch it. He didn't separate them when the bell rang. He called it off. At that moment, if I'm your coach, I'm saying, hey, the one official who can decide that this fight is over just decided that it was over. I don't know if I'm going to let you come out this next round. And can we talk about how the fact that he missed how many fingers were being held up twice?
He said
he missed it twice.
He held up one, right? And he said two, if I remember correctly. Then when he held up four, he said three.
Yeah.
And then the doctor looks at her and he's like, he's good to go. I was like, wait, what happened? And then he's like, walk towards me. And he walks in the opposite direction. And he goes, look at me. And he looks over there. And I was like, oh, they're about to stop it. And the doctor's like, yeah, good enough for me.
Yeah. Dude, and can we talk about the last 30 seconds of the fifth round? The fucking heart of Ortega to walk him down and try to finish the fight on the feet.
Amazing.
Yeah, incredible. And the craziest part for me, well, not the craziest part, the fight was fucking insane, but a factor that was crazy in the post-fight interviews, fantastic interviews from both of them, I thought, especially given the bad blood, right? I love the way they handled themselves after the fight. Ortega, when they were interviewing him, if you closed your eyes and were just listening to him talk, you're like, damn, that's someone who got beat in a tough fight. But you would never imagine that he would look the way he looked based off how he was speaking. So I don't know. Maybe he was showing something in the corner that they were like, no, he could potentially pull this off still. But it was getting close to maybe we call this, in my opinion, as a corner.
You've said it before, right? Nobody knows their fighters better than their corners or trainers.
Yeah. And the relationship between Henner and Ortega is closer than most.
I was just about to say that. And if anybody knows him better than anybody out there, it's Henner Gracie, right?
Yeah.
And with Ortega, the fight could end at any point in time.
as we
especially
saw.
with this ground game. Yeah, just like that.
As
Just like
soon
that.
as how about within 3 seconds of it going to the ground, he had him in that mounted guillotine.
Yep. And then
Insanity.
in the post-fight press conference, Volkanovski said he's like, I didn't expect him to sink it in that quickly.
That's what it
But
does.
he's like, I didn't think I was in that much trouble, but I didn't expect him to wrap my legs up as quickly as he did too.
That was. Have you ever seen No Country for Old Men?
Yes.
You remember the
It's
scene?
been a long time.
Yeah. Do you remember the scene where the main villain of the movie? I'm gonna butcher the way it says. It's like Anton Chegish or whatever. Javier Bardem's character. He's in the police station and they cuff him and he chokes out the police officer. He gets his back and they're like he's belly up but back right. He chokes him out with the handcuffs and his feet are like flailing and you can see the streaks on the ground from his boots, the heel of his boots leaving streaks on the ground because his legs are flailing out. That's what this looked like, dude. Once he got him in the guillotine, the mounted guillotine, and you watch Volkanovski's legs, it looked like someone was getting like snuffed out. It was fucking terrifying.
Rich the casual coming through. He says Anton Sugar.
Yeah, I know how it's spelled. I mean, it's a lot easier to read it and internalize it.
I probably butchered it.
It's close enough. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
No, but yeah, I even told Rich, right? I'm out of my seat. I'm clapping and I'm yelling. My wife reminds me the kids are asleep, but she obviously doesn't understand the magnitude. Yeah, exactly. And but I said the look of desperation, or like you could see it in his face, and you can just from his legs kicking, like he had nothing else he could do other than just wiggle, try to move, and create any type of space possible. Yeah, it was just such an intense moment, and I absolutely loved it.
I was screaming, "It's over!" because it was fucking so tight. Mounted guillotine's tough, man.
And it's Ortega.
Yeah, and it's Ortega, the guy who gets submissions. When have we seen someone defend 3 submissions from him, let alone 1?
Cub Swanson literally said that he never thought that he was closer to losing his life than when he was in that guillotine from Ortega.
Yeah, and let's not forget that, granted, Cub Swanson survived a submission in that fight as well, the Darce from the clinch, but he was saved by the bell, if I remember correctly. Yep. It's not like he escaped it. He just survived it.
Again, I gotta give Volkanovski his respect. It's insane. Shout out Brian.
Hey, shout out Brian.
Those submission attempts had me on my feet. So close. So glad you mentioned his feet kicking violently. It's insane.
Yeah, it was nuts, man. It was terrifying to see his feet. When I saw the legs, I was like, "There's no way he's surviving this."
We have Bruce Bobtrotter that came through again. He says Volk can have his little moment now, but Max beat him in the second fight, and Max is the real champ. See, and that's the thing. I didn't give him the respect that he deserved because I felt like Max beat him both of those times too. But after watching what he did to Ortega, like I realize now, I owe him some respect. Those fights were close against Max, and I just need to take that into consideration that he took one of the best featherweights ever into those close fights and beat him out twice.
Yeah, Bruce, I hope you're subscribed, dude. I like what he's putting in, contributing to the show. But yeah, right. I mean, Max and Volkanovski are kind of in a league of their own right now, I think, in that division. It's going to be interesting to see who else can challenge them.
So look, right now we have Max Holloway versus Jade Rodriguez coming up in November, which
probably a title eliminator.
Probably not going to happen. Yair Rodriguez is probably going to pull out of this fight again. He's probably going to disappear for the next 6 months. So it might be Holloway versus Volkanovski trilogy up next. Might be just based off of history here, right? What's next for Ortega for you though?
I mean, everyone's saying that he's done, and they're like, "Well, he's not going to get. It's going to be hard to give him another title shot." Why? Fucking why?
He's one of the best.
He's one of the best, and he's got the one thing that matters the most in the UFC is that he's marketable. He's probably going to fight. I would like to see him fight someone like Arnold Allen. Might be a little bit too much for Arnold Allen, but look, man, you're ranked number 6 now.
Has he fought Calvin Kattar?
No, I would like to see that. I was going to say that, but at the same time, I don't really want to see the 2 guys that have taken the most damage.
Battle of CTE?
Yeah, like I don't really necessarily want to see. Let's give Calvin Kattar a fucking a step down, Giga needs to get in there. But again, I don't know. Ortega versus like Dan Ige, maybe. Josh Emmett. I would say Arnold Allen, Josh Emmett, or Dan Ige is what I would like to see for Ortega. Just give him a fucking break, man. You know?
Yeah. Okay. All right, man.
Let him
Well,
build
do you have
up
anything
again.
else on the main event?
No. I mean, the headbutts were what they were, right? There's two of them, right? One of them cut him open on the eye. One of them busted his nose up pretty bad. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but you know what's crazy is the whole night I was looking at Mark Coleman in the front row.
Oh man, Bruce Bobtrotter. Once again, don't disrespect the dead. Cater was killed in this fight against Max. He's no longer with us. R.I.P. Yeah. We have yet to see what's going to come back with Cater, right? Like, he just took so much damage.
Yeah, it was
so much damage. It's one of those where you just ask yourself, hey, is he ever going to be the same again after that? And we don't know until we see it again.
Exactly. You know? But that's what I mean. Like, give him a step down. Don't just throw him back into the wolves. And
Richard Casual also wants us to point out the fact that whenever Ortega had him in that guillotine and in the triangle choke, the blood that would gush out from Volkanovski's head, just from him straining, trying to get out of that. Oh, dude, it was gnarly.
Dude, it was crazy. They talked about the camera was on the left side, and you couldn't see that cut on Volkanovski's head. Me and Kevin called it out as soon as it happened. It was from an elbow in the clinch from Ortega. It was on the top of the head, and they didn't say anything about it. And I was like, they're not going to say anything about him being busted open. It was a pretty bad cut, I thought. Mm-hmm. And then like a few minutes went by, and then the camera switched to the other side, and it was like running down his head, right? And they're like, oh, his ear. I think his ear's busted up. And it's like, since when did a busted ear bleed up? You know what I mean? Like, how do you guys not see the fucking massive gash?
Maybe he held him upside down doing cartwheels.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, he is from Australia, right?
Brian, Brian points out, missed the beginning of the show, so not sure if you mentioned this, but how about the walkout from Ortega?
We didn't talk about it.
We did not talk about it. No. For me, dude, I love that walkout. I don't know about you, but the Purge comes on, the little theme song or whatever. They walk out with the mask. Yeah.
I didn't catch the music cue because I watched the first Purge in theaters when it first came out, and then I was like, I'm done with all this shit.
How dare you?
I mean, I love Ethan Hawke, don't get me wrong, but that's about it.
What's his name? Grillo, is it?
Grillo?
Yeah, because he's in the other ones too. I can't remember.
I only saw the first one, and I was like, that
Grillo?
really is not what I wished it was.
But anyways, I love the walkout. I absolutely.
It was it is that walkout for me was very, very close to being cringy. I still haven't really decided whether or not I enjoyed it or if I was kind of cringing a little bit. It's right on the edge for me.
I loved it. And
I'm a fan of goofy walkouts, all that shit.
Now that I think about it, Rich said it would suck if he lost just because of the crazy walkout.
Well, because I was watching with my dad, and he was like, I don't really like that shit. It's too much like WWE. And I was like, yeah, but these guys actually fight. So you either win the fight and look badass for walking out like that, or you lose and you look like a fucking idiot.
You know what? But he didn't look like a fucking idiot.
No, he would have looked like an idiot if he did like the whole like Adesanya dance routine and then lost. But at least his was a little bit more like measured and like calm. It wasn't like
Adesanya
super
probably
crazy,
the only one that can get away with that right now.
Yeah, and I love
a little dance routine.
When he did his dance routine,
yeah,
people were shitting on him, but I was like, bro, this is fucking dope.
I know.
I hate musicals. I hate like group dancing stuff like that. Like what was that thing that it was like super famous? It was like they would wear the masks. Anderson Silva wore the mask one time to a walkout. They would wear like the white like no expression.
The Jabberwockies?
Yeah, like that shit's so lame to me. Like I don't know how people enjoy that, but Adesanya's dance for me was fucking dope. I don't know why, but I usually hate dance numbers like that
because you know he's gonna kick somebody's ass right afterwards. That's why.
Yeah, I guess. Remember when Anderson Silva walked out as Michael Jackson?
No, but it sounds fantastic.
No, it wasn't in the UFC, but yeah, he does the whole walkout and he's fucking got the hat and shit and he's dancing the whole way down.
No way.
Bro, I'm telling you.
I gotta look it up. Look it up. All right. Before that, we had Valentina Shevchenko versus Lauren Murphy. Bruce Bob Trotter, I think, brought this up earlier. You know, what's left for Valentina Shevchenko? She's just masterful, man. She's amazing. Yeah. I posted it on the tweeter yesterday where I said, in your eyes, who's the best female fighter of all time? Amanda Nunes or Valentina Shevchenko? So I wanted to ask you today, Will.
It's tough because it's like depends on how you look at it, in my opinion. If you look at in terms of accomplishments, I would go Amanda Nunes.
Amanda Nunes?
Yeah.
Skill set.
But skill set and just like yeah, that kind of stuff, I think Shevchenko. And granted, right, she has losses to Amanda Nunes, but weight class, they exist for a reason, right? Like I'm sure Francis Ngannou would beat GSP. You know what I mean? But do I think Francis is better than GSP? Hell no. You know what I mean? So I think Shevchenko, obviously that's a much more extreme example of Shevchenko versus Nunes, but as far as accomplishments go, Nunes, but as far as talent-wise and like who I think is a more skilled fighter, I think Shevchenko.
More well-rounded. Oh, dude, Shevchenko is just amazing, man. And also, though, I take a look at her division, and we're in a division where, I mean, Cynthia Calvillo is ranked 5th.
She was one. If she won tonight, she was probably next.
She was probably next. You know, you have Jessica Ai that's ranked 8th. You have Roxanne Modafferi that's still ranked in the top 10. So that's the division. So for me, it's and I talked about this right when we did our UFC 266 preview. I said Lauren, the sacrificial lamb Murphy, because I felt like that's what it was going to be. And you know, Lauren Murphy and every other woman in this division can go out there and say she's never faced a fighter like me. So this one's going to be different. And I'm going to walk out the champion. And, you know, we get the same spiel over and over again. And like we said, they're not going to go out there and be like, you know, it's going to be a tough night in the office. I'll probably get knocked out or choked out. But, hey, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to get paid.
Listen. I'm probably going to lose this. But you know what? It's my job. Dude, I show up to work.
But you know what? There's something to be said about honesty. So true story, JV basketball, right? My basketball coach, we're about to play Seaside full of killers, right? Okay. And so my coach is late. He was about 6'1", like 400 pounds. He'd always walk in like supersized drinks and like, you know, food. Yeah. So he walks in sipping on his Slurpee. You know, it's like a large Slurpee. And we're just pumped, man. We're getting each other pumped because the coach wasn't there yet. We're like, dude, we got this. It's Seaside. They're tough, but you know, we're going to win this. You know what he says? He says, all right, guys, we're going to lose this game. We go out there and you have fun. I'll see you out there. Moved right away. So if I ever see a Lauren Murphy go out there and be like, you know what? Probably going to lose this fight. Yeah. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to try it. I'm going to have fun. I'll be like, you know what? There we go. Yeah. Dude, good times.
I don't think I don't know. The corner work I thought was pretty bad in this fight. What do you do, right? Try to find a hole in Shevchenko's game and exploit it right in the corner. But just the whole positive reinforcement. I guess that's what it boils down to. That's all you really have. But we can't just pretend like things are going well. You know,
I hated the corner work. I really did.
I know it's your husband, right? But
yeah,
at a certain point,
it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah,
but I feel like she went out there trying to survive instead of trying to win. There's a big difference.
I think the first round she went out there trying to win, and then about halfway through that round, she switched to I'm going to have to survive tonight. Yeah,
because I think they would have walked away with a moral victory if it would have gone 5 rounds. I think they were trying to walk away with a moral victory, being able to say, I went all 5 rounds with Valentina Shevchenko. I pushed her to the limit because she's never faced a fighter like me before.
Couldn't finish me.
Yeah, but no, you know. So we'll see. We'll see what's up next for Lauren Murphy. But again, this division is just. I mean, you have Jessica Andrade, which by the way is a legitimate flyweight.
Yeah.
Okay. Caitlin Shukagian. I don't know. Lauren Murphy's 3rd. Jennifer Maia. We already saw Jennifer Maia versus Shevchenko. Cynthia Calvillo. I said it on our preview and I'll say it again. Overrated. Shouldn't be over 10, top 10 in the division. Joanne Calderwood. I mean, what do you do? What do you do?
I mean, she hasn't fought Calderwood, right? They were supposed to and got canceled, and then they took the fight away from Calderwood. But I guess. Yeah. I mean, you have to do something, right? So let's get JoJo a win and fuck it, throw her in there and let Shevchenko continue to fight, right? She should not be punished by the fact that she's beaten everybody, you know? I mean, we've had this moment how many times now, you know? We've had this moment with Demetrius, with Jon Jones, with Anderson Silva. I mean, it happens all the time. Nunes is in the position right now, you know? It's not their fault.
I mean, take a look at the featherweight division. Take a look at the rankings.
Yeah.
There's none.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's just a picture of Amanda Nunes holding both belts, and
Hey,
that is the featherweight division.
How about Holly Holm is fighting Norma Dumont in the main event in the next bout? I think that's at featherweight, right? And that's where we're at.
That's where we're at.
I think
Bruce
it's
coming through again with another comment. He says Laura needs to hire Edmund Trevathan to stand next to the cage and shout out head movement during the entire fight. Would be a good addition to her corner. Dude, that's something where, like, whenever I see the highlights of that fight of Rousey versus Nunes, you know how they say you can't hear a picture?
Oh yeah,
I can hear a picture, and that's whenever I see those pictures, I can hear Edmund just yelling in the background. But honestly, that would have been more than what we got from Lauren Murphy's corner.
Yeah, I mean, something, right? You can't just say, "Hey, you're winning in the clinch." Do that more, you know.
Rough, man, rough. But like you said, you brought up a very good point. Find a hole and exploit that for Srichenko. Good luck.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah,
good luck,
dude.
All right.
Barry had never seen her fight before, right? He doesn't watch like fighting that often, and he was like, dude, she looks like mechanical. Like she looks like the way she moves. It's like her joints are powered by pistons, and like she's like even when she stops herself, it's like she looks like a fucking robot.
Everything's so compact, tight.
Everything's so compact. There's no wasted flaring elbows flaring out. The kicks are perfect. Her footwork's fantastic.
True martial artist. Martial artist. And also, can we acknowledge the fact that on the interview, post-fight interview, she talks in English, then she speaks in Spanish. Dude, her Spanish is better than her English.
Really?
It's so good. Yes.
Yeah.
And then she speaks in Russian. And then she starts speaking in Thai.
Yeah.
Dude, this girl's amazing. Is there anything she can't do?
Lose fights.
Dude, she's going to be a champion for a very long time.
Yeah.
For a very long
and for
time.
her, they talk about it gets to the point where it's like, what does this do for you, right? Why are you continuing if you just beat everybody with no opposition? And she's like, I just want to compete at the highest level of martial arts for as long as I can. That's enough, you know? She doesn't need the crazy challenges and the new learning things about herself because, like, why would she? You know, she knows about herself. She's had to dig deep in some fights, right?
Just line them up is what she's saying. Just line them up.
Yeah.
Keep on lining them up, and I'll keep on putting them down.
Yeah.
God, she's money, man.
Dope.
I love watching her fight. All right. Before that, Will, we had Robbie Lawler versus Nick Diaz. Hey, dude, I'm still wearing the represent shirt today.
Hey,
right?
You know what?
Diaz.
To quote their legendary Chris Weidman's father, that's still my boy. That's still my fucking boy.
Dude, I'll let you go.
So going into this, nobody really knew what to fully expect, right? People put a lot of stock into the shadow boxing. People put a lot of stock into the interview with Brett Okamoto before the fight. I think what we ended up seeing is more about the 6 years off and the 38 years old. But I would be lying if halfway through the first round, I switched from watching through my fingers to standing on my feet screaming because the dude hit his flow state. What can I say? He hit his fucking flow state. He took big shots. That question was answered very quickly, whether his chin was going to be there. I know there's a lot of rumors from Brendan Schaub and Josh Thompson talking about how he was knocked out in training. That's why they switched the weight class, all this stuff. I don't think so because dude took shots from Robbie Lawler pretty fucking well, considering he hasn't been hit with full intensity in fucking close to 7 years now, and he's 38 goddamn years old. The first minute and a half of the first round was tough. Mm-hmm. It was tough for me to watch because, I mean, this is somebody that I grew up watching and, idolizing, honestly. So it was tough to see those first. I mean, the start of the fight, he runs out and does the flying spinning back kick, fucking legendary. You know what I mean? Like the energy and the athleticism isn't quite what it used to be. But the dude's a fucking gangster. He goes out there, throws a spinning back kick after 6 years off. You love to see that shit. He dropped down to the single leg off of it. Not much there. He was getting cracked for a bit. Robbie Lawler was cracking him in the first minute. But the story for me is dude on two judges' scorecards won the first round. Going into that third round, it was split. It was whoever wins the third round wins the fight, is how that fight was going. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, I don't really give a fuck, because that's what two judges had it. If Nick Diaz won that third round, he was going to win the fight. And that's just a fact. The other fact is that he outstruck Robbie by about 20 strikes. Dude landed over 150 strikes in his return fight against a former champion after 6 years off at 38 years old. He landed over 150 strikes. That's fucking insane. It's insane. So while it wasn't it wasn't the performance that I would have liked to have seen, you saw glimpses of the greatness in there. And anybody who says otherwise, in my opinion, either wasn't there for the greatness early on, or doesn't know what they're watching.
That was the toughest part for me. It wasn't so much the action that happened in the fight, but the toughest part for me was that this was an opportunity for anybody that just started tuning in to mixed martial arts in the last 3 or 4 years, that saw the rise of Nate Diaz, that didn't really know everything about Nick, So they hear Nate talk about Nick Diaz. They hear about the Nick Diaz army, the general, they hear stories about Nick, but they didn't actually get to see it. So for me, going into this, I was so excited, and I was telling Rich, I was like, dude, I'm just so nervous, because going into this,
I was so fucking nervous, man.
The day before, I felt like a kid when he knew that the next day it was Christmas time and I'm going to get to open up my presents tomorrow, and I'm just like, oh, I can't wait, the anticipation. And I felt like that yesterday, or not yesterday, but the day before the fight. I was like, dude, I get to see Nick Diaz again. Like, for the longest time we talked about it, like, are we ever going to get to see a Nick Diaz return? And we're seeing it. And I was just hoping and praying that he'd have a good performance so everybody would see this is what the legend was all about. Right. Yeah. And instead, we got to see a shell of his former self. Again, he is 38 years old. He has been out of the octagon for 6 years, dude. 6 years. Now, I think about like a GSP. Right, GSP. How long was he out? Do you remember between fights? He was out for a minute.
Which ones? For
before he fought Bisping again. Yeah. It was a while. It wasn't 6 years, but he was out for a while. Yeah. Then I also know that, just from posts and stuff like that, that GSP stays training mixed martial arts.
Yeah, never stopped.
Never ever stopped.
To this day, trains every single day.
Yeah, Freddie Roach, TriStar, whatever. He's always training. I don't think I could say the same about Nick.
No,
where
I can confidently say it's not the same.
He does triathlons and things like that, right? He trains jiu-jitsu, he teaches jiu-jitsu, but I don't think that he was training mixed martial arts.
No,
at the so it's different there. It's different, and I think we just saw that. We saw that Father Time catches up to everybody. Father Time doesn't care about your legend and what it is that you did 6 years ago and the folks that you fought in the past. It's a tough sport, dude. It's a really tough sport. Robbie Lawler, having been way more active, of course, than Nick. By the way, to no fault of Nick's, right? When the inactivity, because he would have been fighting the entire time if it weren't for, the stupid suspension.
Commission.
Yeah, the stupid athletic commission. But Robbie Lawler just been a lot more active, man. He looked in shape. Yeah. He looked focused for this fight. He seemed motivated by this fight, where I can't say the same about the previous Lawler fights before that, where he seemed kind of like he was like just going through the motions.
And he said that. He said, Nick got me going this camp, and it's been a while since I've had that. And he's like, I give props to him because he pushed me to come out the way I did.
And another comment coming through here from Bruce. He says, but to be said, Diaz quit and gave up at the end of this fight. He didn't give it his all. I cannot completely respect that. And, and that's going to be some people's opinions, though. You know, where
and
again,
I'm here to tell
especially
them that they're wrong.
and especially if they didn't watch Nick back in the day. Right now,
It's not even about
do you
that.
know what happened? Like, was it the busted nose?
He got caught and he didn't want to do it. I mean, he didn't want to be in there. He doesn't enjoy it. He's not chasing a title. He's not hungry. He's not training every single day. He's not keeping his body in prime shape. He doesn't have the hunger. He's not there for that. You know, anybody to say that they can't completely respect him, in my opinion, is, I mean, sorry, Bruce,
Well,
but like
not respect him, but he says he can't completely respect that.
Yeah, and all I have to say about that is, all right, you go in there and take Robbie Lawler punches.
Yeah, tough.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's different for everybody.
How is that wrong? He quit, bro. Yeah, dude. All right, but he also got in there after 6 years. Listen, bro. There's a lot of people that quit. There's someone who quit on this card, not Nick Diaz, right? He did quit, right? Nick Diaz did quit. There's other people who quit on this same card that it doesn't look the same, but they still quit. It's as simple as that. People quit on every single card. There are multiple people who quit. They quit in different ways. Regardless of that, though, they still went in there and gave it their all, and that alone, in my opinion, garners full respect. The outcome of a fight, no matter what, unless it's Paul Daly punching Josh Koscheck after the fight, stuff like that, you get full respect from me at least, because I could never put myself in that position. And in my opinion, putting yourself in that position, you gain that respect. Quitting means nothing to me. Every time you get tapped out, you're quitting. It's different. You think Uroš Medic, he got caught in that rear naked choke in his fight? No. He gave that rear naked choke because he wanted out. And there's nothing wrong with that. Chael has said multiple times that he himself has quit. It's a part of the game.
Hey, keep Chael out of this.
It's a part of the game. Chael's the one that talks about it openly. He's one of the few that actually talks about that. It's a very common thing. When you get hurt, you give up your neck. Yeah.
Chael, peace out.
Yeah. In my opinion, Nick has earned the right to give up like that. He's earned that right.
Yeah. Live to fight another day.
Live to fight another day. Not even just that, but like, dude, if what the rumors are true and that he's being taken advantage of his management team, why the fuck does he have to get knocked out for people's respect? Fuck that. Like, what? It's there are different degrees of quit. Okay, bud.
Yeah, and he says, but I don't think he gave it his all. Agree to disagree. I love the back and forth though. Freaking love it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Everybody has opinions, right? That's what makes it compelling, right? And I think Nick could have somehow got into a position where he gets subbed, right? And he didn't, because in my opinion, Nick has earned the position to be like, I'm done with this. I got cracked. That was good. If this were boxing, they would have stopped the fight at that moment and they would have evaluated it. And I mean, look at Anthony Joshua, who also lost last night, which is kind of crazy. But when he lost to Ruiz.
Andy Ruiz.
Right? Yeah, he got dropped. He wasn't out cold. He seemed fine. They called the fight. Shit like that happens. You know what I mean? It in my opinion, Nick calling that off is kind of just the culmination of his entire career. And in my opinion, I almost respect him more for it. And I'm sure my bias is coming through with that. But if it is true that he's being taken advantage of by his management, let's be honest, he should not have been fighting Robbie Lawler. He should not have been fighting Robbie Lawler. I get it. You're Nick Diaz. You're going to get a big fight on your comeback. He should not have been fighting Robbie Lawler. If he's thinking about in the fight, why is this happening? Why am I being taken advantage of? There's people trying to make money off of me. Why is it up to him to get finished? For people's respect? To earn people's respect? He already earned my respect. He earned anybody who grew up watching him fight. They already respect him. Why does he have to get knocked out?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and
Obviously, I'm emotional about it, right? It's fucking my hero growing up. You know what I mean? So like,
You're a little biased.
I'm sure other people are listening to me talk about this, and they're like, "This guy's fucking like just a Diaz nut hugger and is like refusing to accept reality." But like, dude, in my opinion, giving up in a fight doesn't mean shit to me. And if anybody else did it, I'm okay with it. Roberto Duran doesn't bother me whatsoever. No mas, right? I don't give a fuck. They're getting in there. They already did the hard part. Why do they have to get knocked out for respect?
Brett Okamoto said a good next fight for him would be Ben Askren.
Yeah, Brett Okamoto's a fucking idiot.
Ben Askren.
That guy has as much charisma as fucking Ben Askren's wrestling.
Oh, dude.
Like, remember when Dana White was like, "Yeah, I put on Ben Askren fights when I want to go to sleep at night."
Yeah.
That's what I do. I put on Brett Okamoto interviews when I want to go to bed at night because that has zero fucking charisma.
All right, man. Anything else on that fight?
Yeah, Nick Diaz versus Matt Brown. If he's serious about coming back and he gets a full camp, Nick Diaz versus Matt Brown.
Oh, that'd be a fun one. All right. Before that, we had Curtis Blades versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. So, man, Rozenstruik, I had picked Rozenstruik in this one. I thought that he'd be able to slip in a big right hand. Instead, he snuck in a huge flying knee.
Dude, that was nasty.
It was very nasty. Props to Blades, who took that like a champ.
Yeah.
Blades did what Blades does, man.
Yeah, I mean, he did. I saw Luke Thomas talk about how this is probably going to be one of the more forgettable heavyweight fights. And I kind of agree, right? It was not much happened. The biggest thing of the fight was that knee.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, it'd be interesting to see the scorecards. I didn't actually look at them.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, 30-27, Curtis Blades. That second round though is the one that the knee landed in. I think Curtis took him down at the end of that third round or the second round with about a minute left. He had a minute of control, no damage on top. I feel like that could have gone to Rozenstruik that round. Obviously, it doesn't matter, right? But if the biggest scoring criteria is damage, he landed the knee. He landed some pretty decent follow-up shots, and that I think was the most significant moment of not just the round but the fight. What did you think about this fight?
Man, it was uneventful for me. Like I said, there was the flying knee by Rozenstruik, and other than that, it was just again Curtis Blades doing what Curtis Blades does, man. Taking somebody down, maintaining top control, trying to land some ground and pound, but more than anything, just maintaining top control. Right? So
yeah,
I don't think he's ever going to be the most popular heavyweight out there.
No.
But I think he's just going to continue being one of those guys that's going to be able to continue beating a lot of people in the top 10 until he faces somebody that has like absolute lights out power where they just touch him a couple times and he's out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see him beating Stipe. I don't see him beating Cyril Gane. I don't see him beating Francis. Those top three. I mean, because I don't think he's a better wrestler than Stipe. I think the way he shoots on his takedowns, I don't think he gets Stipe down. And I think Cyril Gane is way too technical to get trapped by Blades. And Francis, obviously, we've seen them fight now. Dude fucks him up.
Bruce asks, what's with that heavy stutter Blades has? Is it from strikes to the head? I didn't notice it.
I didn't catch it.
I didn't catch it either. And look, I'm going to be very honest here. When it was time for the post-fight interview, I fucking tuned that shit out because like this Blades fight was so uneventful for me. And I was same thing that you said, right? HLBK Omer says, nah, he's always had it. So thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah,
he's always
HLBK becomes a fucking real one, dude.
He's a savage. He's been around with us for a while. Bruce, I hope you subscribed as well, man. But yeah, maybe he's just always had that stutter. I don't know, but I don't listen to very many Curtis Blades interviews because I find him as, again, entertaining as his fight. So
I think the only thing I remember from the post-fight interview, because same thing, I was probably having my own conversations during the post-fight for this one, but I did hear him say that like he had to play it safe in the third round, and secure the takedown and just kind of ride him out in the third round. Yeah, you got to get the win.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just not the biggest Curtis Blade fan.
Me neither. But
I like his nickname.
Yeah, and I like his walkout song, right? Mortal Kombat. But I do think there is something to be said for eating that knee and continuing to win, at least definitely win the third round. That takes something special. Most people go down from that knee.
Yeah. Tough guy.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give him that. Yeah. Before that, we had Jessica Andrade versus Cynthia Calvillo. Okay, so going into this one again, I said it. I'll say it again. Cynthia Calvillo for me is overrated. She's in a weight division that doesn't have very much talent. It's not very stacked. I was very high on her when she first came into the scene, but then just her inability to stay disciplined. Right, she should probably be fighting at 115.
Yes,
she should be fighting at 115. But this is what we're going to get from Calvillo. She might be able to beat some of the Joanne Calderwoods every once in a while. She might be able to beat some of the, Roxanne Modafferi's every once in a while. But as soon as she gets into the top tier talent there, I think she's always going to come out on the losing end.
Yeah, I think up until the big flurry at the end of the fight, I was very interested in what was happening. I thought the way she was able to kind of stick and move and Matador Andrade a little bit and avoid some of the big shots and kind of just pick her 1-2. I was seeing what we saw originally. I was like, dude, she's tagging her. Like, these are eventually going to add up if she can continue to evade the power of Andrade. Obviously, she couldn't, right? Andrade is nasty. But I was impressed with
eating those shots too, like nothing.
But that's what Andrade does. You know what I mean? So, but I don't think that's more of a fault of Calvillo. I think that's just more of a praise to Andrade. Because, dude, I saw it. I saw the glimpse in there of Calvillo. She was cutting angles really well. She was landing over the shoulder of Andrade pretty well. I saw it in there. It's just like you said, though, the discipline, and I definitely think she should not be at this weight class. Granted, she was fighting another former 115-pounder, but it's different. It's clearly different. Looking at them side by side, it's different.
It most definitely is different, man. Andrade, she just has so much power, right? And I still remember watching Andrade versus Kowalkiewicz live, where she just.
I think we watched her fight on Joanna.
No. Who was it that we saw her fight? No, that's Mindy and I.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and no, and she fought Kowalkiewicz and she knocked her out. And she just has that one punch power, which for women's flyweight division is rare. Yeah. Right. So I don't know, man. Not much to say about this.
I mean, what do you do for Andrade now? What do you do? You go down 115, in my opinion.
Keep on making money.
Didn't she call out Zhang Weili?
Did she?
I think so. So maybe get down to 115 again because, she's a former champ.
Yeah. Former champ, kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. She knocked out Rose.
She knocked out Rose. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And she hurt. She got outclassed by Joanna, but she hurt her. Most people don't hurt Joanna. Yeah. She got her rocked heavy.
All right. Well, can we move on to the next fight?
Yeah.
Here we go. Now this one, Merab Dvalishvili.
Holy shit. This is talk about an instant classic.
Versus Marlon Moraes.
Yeah, this goes on the notepad of fights to show people who don't watch fighting, right?
Hey, but with Marlon Moraes, it's almost like it's the same thing for everybody. Survive that first round, and then you're good.
Yeah,
right?
It seems like it.
He's so explosive that first round. He's got so much power that first round. He's got so much energy that first round. And honestly, he had Merab hurt, man.
Keith Peterson could have called it. I saw someone that was like, Dominic Cruz was watching this fight fucking punching walls. Just keep Peterson, let it keep going.
That's so funny. But he had Merab so hurt. And, if you're Marlon Moraes and you see that you have Merab so hurt, you probably do empty the tank a little bit more at that point in time to try to get him out.
Dude, nothing wrong with what he did.
Nothing wrong with what he did.
Holy shit. That first round was insane. Dude, it reminded me. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, for Merab to survive that, though, to come out the way he did the second round. And, dude, he looked so angry. when he was hitting him with that ground and pound. He was mad.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun to watch.
Dude, okay, so they do the live stats, right, which they say aren't accurate, right?
Yep.
But I'm looking at the UFC stats, which are supposed to be accurate, right? They're supposed to be someone went back and actually like calculated the strikes and got a definite number. It's saying Merab only threw 109 strikes. Oh, no, I'm an idiot. I'm just looking at significant strikes. I was like, dude, there's no way that's accurate. It was 307. I was like, there's absolutely no way.
Taking a look at what bantamweight division, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Marlon Moraes was ranked 6th. We have Merab that was ranked 11th. So he now jumps up and catapults, let's say, to the 6th spot maybe. You have Jose Aldo, Rob Font, Corey Sandhagen, who might be fighting here. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, for a title here pretty soon. What's next for Merab? Cody Garbrandt, maybe,
but Cody I think is content on going down in the division. Pedro Munoz also has talked about it. Yeah, man. It sucks that there's being a weird shakeup with the belt because, in my opinion, after this you do Merab versus Rob Font, and the winner of that gets a title shot. Yeah. That's what I would do. But all of a sudden we have this logjam at the top of the division, which sucks.
Thanks a lot, Aljamain.
You remember Frankie Edgar versus Gray Maynard 2?
Yeah, of course.
This is what that fight reminded me of, but condensed.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
When Gray Maynard dropped Frankie Edgar in that first round, I think he landed like 100 strikes in that first round trying to finish Frankie Edgar, who was backwards rolling, fucking stumbling across the entire cage to evade shots. Like, it was insanity, right? He's just chasing him, trying to finish him. But then in the second round, Frankie recovers and picks him up and fucking slams him. And I was like, this is the greatest fighter I've ever seen. I did a paper on that fight.
Did you really?
I wrote an essay in school. I don't know what grade I was in, but I wrote a paper on that.
Dude, your teachers probably must have been so fucking pissed. They're probably like, dude, another fucking paper on a UFC fighter. What the hell's wrong with this guy?
I have an essay mounted on my wall in the bedroom I grew up in. And halfway through it, there's a excerpt that I wrote about a story of Henry Gracie and Brian Ortega teaching a kid jiu-jitsu for free because he was getting bullied in school. This was before Ortega was even fighting professionally. And I wrote that paper, and one of my teachers read it and was like, oh, shit. I guess her son trained at the Torrance Gracie Academy. So she made a copy of my essay, mailed it to her son, and then, I don't know why she didn't just email him the fucking file, right? Well, I guess she never had the file. She just had my printed copy. But she sent it down there to her son so he can take it to the gym. And the page where I start talking about that story is signed by Henry Gracie. T-City didn't sign it, but Henry Gracie. It was before Ortega fought. I knew of Ortega because the Gracie blogs, but but Henry was like the man back then, right? Yeah. So he signed it, and he's like, "Great job, dude!" And it's Henry Gracie, and that's just framed on my wall in there.
That's badass, man. He's like, by the way, sign up to Gracie University online.
Yeah, we'll get you your blue belt.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah. But one of the best comebacks I think in UFC history.
It's up there, man.
Wallace Willie.
This fight goes on a short list of back and forth crazy fights, right? Travis Brown, Arlovsky, Gray Maynard Frankie, Pat Barry, Czech Congo. It's one of those fights where it's just, he was gone. He was gone. Yep. And I'm glad they called it out in the commentary because I'm pretty sure Merab knocked out Marlon in the first round with those hammer fists in guard.
Yeah.
It was weird. I think after that moment, Marlon was just like not even there because he was just not even trying to block anything on the ground. It was weird.
Well, did you see the way that he set up?
Yeah.
He kind of set up, arm like down, like helping him up, and then he like looked around for a little bit.
Yeah, it was
and
tough.
Then set up. So it was almost like he was like, oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm at a fight right now.
This is how crazy Merab is in that second round, the start of the second round. He goes out there, he throws an overhand right to set up a takedown. He dropped him with that overhand right. But Merab's such a fucking animal that he took him down before Marlon actually dropped. But if you look at it, if that was a knockdown, it was going to be a knockdown, I should say. If he just threw the overhand right, dropped him, he could have had a finish right there. It was, he's just so insane that he was going further than he needed to go.
Dude, HOBK Omer says, I felt bad for Marlon. His number one issue is cardio. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. And he had to fight the fucking cardio machine.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Merab is scary. Merab just keeps going.
He seems so fun too, Merab.
Dude, did you see the video?
He's a blast.
Did you see the video of him scalping himself?
No. What?
Dude, go on his Instagram. There's a video of him. He does like polar plunges, right? And there's a frozen lake.
Told me about this.
There's a frozen lake, and he goes up to the bank of it where the ice is all broken and stuff, and he goes to dive in. He fucking dives in, and apparently it's just where he dove was just like a tree that had fallen, and it's just branches sticking up that he couldn't see. He dives in, instantly pops up, runs back, kind of jogs over to his phone that's like propped up on something recording him, and he's holding the top of his head and it's bleeding. Had to get staples across his whole top of his head. And then like 2 days later, he posts a video of him in the same spot, and he goes out there and he's got headgear on and 16-ounce gloves, and he goes out to the water and he just starts punching the ice. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take this rematch or some shit."
That's fantastic, man. I love that. I love that. All right, well, anything else on that fight?
If anybody missed that fight, definitely go back and watch it because it was fucking insanity.
It was
insanity.
Nuts.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't know what you do with Marlon now. I hope he doesn't get cut. He's had a tough stretch because, man, first round Marlon is fucking exciting.
First round Marlon. I was telling Rich, the casual, last night about some of these legends. You know, first round Marlon might be one of them. You have last 10-second Rosenstruck, right? Last 10-second round Rosenstruck. TRT Vitor, Ubrin, right? So
Ubrin, C-level Kane.
Coked out Jon Jones. Yeah,
Vegas Jon Jones versus LA Jon Jones.
We have we're 1 hour in. Do you want to just skip to news or
what does HLB Comer think?
Right?
I would like to talk about Dan Hooker.
All right, talk about Dan Hooker.
This was a tough fight to root for anybody in, right? Because the backstory. I mean, off the bat, I'm a huge Dan Hooker fan. I think the world of that dude. I think he's super cool. And Hackprast, obviously, I've been looking for him to get a shot in the top 10 for a while. And clearly he's gone through some pretty crazy adversity in this past month with his mother dying, traveling back. Now he can't get a visa. Both these guys made weight. They couldn't get their visas until like Wednesday or Thursday, had to fly there, cutting weight on the plane. They still both weigh in 155. I thought this professionals. And I don't think that this fight, I saw some people saying that Dan Hooker was like showing that Hackprast doesn't deserve to be in the top 10. I disagree. I think this was a very good performance from Hooker, and I think more praise should go to Hooker for this fight than people should be disappointed or thinking that Hackprast is lacking anything. I think Hooker did a fantastic job of taking the center of the cage, keeping him away with his kicks. I mean, he just kept blasting that body kick, the front kick and the right kick to the body. We'll touch on Semmelsberger also. But he did a fantastic job game planning, and anytime they would get close, he would clinch up, and he did such good work in the clinch with kneeing the leg, and as soon as he would defend against the leg, he would sneak that left knee up around the corner, catch him in the face. It was, such a good performance from Hooker, and then he starts mixing in the takedowns. Hackprast, to his credit, was told by Faraz Zahabi and GSP, you need to finish. You lost the first 2 rounds. You need to finish. And in the third round, he was going for it, really going for it. But unfortunately, Dan Hooker is such a fucking pro that when he was going for it, he was overcommitting on his strikes. Hooker was able to slip him and get those double legs. Dude looked phenomenal. In every facet of it, striking, clinch work, on the ground. This was a fantastic performance from Hooker, and I think it's something that I was really hoping to see. It sucks that it has to be against Hackprast. But coming off of the loss that he did, I was very excited to see Hooker perform the way he did.
Very classy post-fight interview, too.
One of the best post-fight interviews. God damn, man. Hooker is – everything he said was like – it's like, was that shit rehearsed, dude? Because, it was flawless.
Yep.
Everything he said, I was, on board with everything. Calls out Beneil Dariush. What a great call-out.
I think we forget just how elite Hooker is because of his loss to Dustin Poirier and then his loss to Michael Chandler right after that.
Yeah.
But this guy's one of the best 155ers out there. So.
Izzy also said that it's cat's out of the bag. I am moving to America. I'm very interested to see if City Kickboxing joins him. Seems like that's kind of what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I think they're out of New Zealand.
What do you want to touch on for the rest of this card?
Semmelsberger, 15 seconds, bam, knockout Martin Sano. That was never going to go well. Martin Sano, I believe, was 0-2 with a draw in his last 3 fights from years ago.
So this was a favor to Nick Diaz, right, for hopping on the card?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. Anthony
I also want to get out Chris Dawkins real quick. Powerful right hand. Hit a Abdurakhimov. Did I pronounce it correctly? Close enough.
But not just the right, but the left.
He's got hands.
Well, the first round, he catches him with a left hook, drops him, knocks him out. That was a beautiful left hook that dropped him at the end of the first round. And then the second one in the second round was the right hand.
Look at that.
Left hook, right straight. Both of them. Knockout power in both hands. I'm here for it. And then he calls out Stipe. He's like, cop versus firefighter. Let's do it. I love it.
I like it. Yeah. All right.
Not going to happen, but I like it.
Did you watch the boxing match?
I watched like highlights of it. I was on the side of discounting Usyk. I thought Joshua was going to be too big for him, and I was dead wrong. He looks so good. And it bums me out because we should have seen, if it weren't for the fucking rematch clauses in boxing, we should have seen this fight was supposed to be Joshua versus Fury. We would have unified the belts, and Fury would have beaten Joshua. Now maybe we do Usyk versus Fury once Fury beats Wilder. I just hate the fucking politics in boxing.
This is exactly, So Dom, one of the guys I work with here, he's a huge boxing fan. And he told me, he's like, Usyk won. He sent me the text late last night, all excited, because both of us thought going in Joshua was going to be able to beat Usyk. But then my response right away was, this is why boxing pisses me off, because there's going to be yet another fight that we wanted to watch that probably won't happen now.
Yeah, we probably won't see Fury.
Or it'll happen
Joshua
way too late when they're both out of their prime.
Yeah.
It's just, you say what you will about UFC, say what you will about Dana, Maynard, and the fights that they put together. But a lot of times they put together fights that we want to watch. When you say, hey, this guy's really good, I'd like to see them fight each other so we can find out who's better. We see that a lot in the UFC.
Yeah.
In boxing, there's just so much politics, man.
Yeah. I'm proud for Usyk, though. I was a huge Usyk fan before he moved up to heavyweight, and I was interested to see what he was going to do at heavyweight. And, I mean, right away, he's the champ.
Win a bunch of belts. That's what he's going to do.
But let's now unify. Let's get Tyson Fury in there. That's a very fun fight. Style-wise, a very fun matchup.
All right. Rich Casual, do you have we might have to stop calling him Rich Casual, man, if he keeps on watching these fights. Rich,
it'll take a while,
fan.
I think.
Yeah, pretty simple. Yeah, Rich, the occasional viewer. I'm just here to bring up the news highlights that we can catch people up on in case they aren't in the know like me. And the first one being, let me pull it up for you right here, is Jon Jones. I heard this guy got arrested. Is this a common thing for this guy?
He gets arrested more than he fights.
Was it a ceremony of some kind not too long beforehand?
Dude, first of all,
what I was hearing.
Dude, I forget that he's 6'6".
Oh wow, 6'5".
I don't even know if he
6'6". Yes.
I don't think the UFC lists him as 6'6".
They don't?
Well, does he have shoes on in this picture?
Oh,
that's
probably.
a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. Hey, good call, Rich. I haven't had a mugshot before, so maybe you have, and I didn't take that into consideration.
A little bit more familiar with him.
Yeah. No, but Jon Jones, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I posted on Instagram when this happened. I said, is anybody surprised, though?
Yeah, even Dana was like, at this point, it's not shocking. He's like, it'd be more shocking if he came to Vegas and nothing happened. That would be more shocking.
It's just, I don't know, man. I've said it before. He just seems like a shitty human being, and he goes and talks up about his religion. He's trying to be a better man, a man of God, and all these different things, which is fine. That's his thing. But just don't try to be somebody you're not. Like,
maybe just practice what you preach a little bit.
It's just so frustrating, man.
What's funny is Barry was out in the living room with us, and we were talking about Jon Jones getting arrested and stuff, and he was like, "Bro, is he even good, dude? Like, all I know about him is that he gets arrested all the time." I'm like, that's crazy. That's now the legacy he's leaving behind for some people.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, granted, Barry doesn't watch fighting. Obviously, he doesn't watch. No one who watches fighting would say that. But
he's more casual than Richie casual, is what you're trying to say.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I mean, Rich, just from doing this with us, is probably at a higher level of knowledge than Barry is. Barry's watched fights, right? I think he watched the card where Ortega knocked out Frankie Edgar back in the day. But yeah, I mean, it's to the point where a lot of people, this was Nick Diaz, the first time they ever saw Nick Diaz fight live. I saw that a lot. People were like, I'm so excited. This is going to be my first time watching Nick Diaz live. It's so surreal. It's like, all right, bro. I don't know if you really call it surreal if you don't. I mean, you just don't know, right? Through no fault of their own. But there's going to be a lot of fans in the next couple of years. And the same thing with Anderson Silva, right? People who started watching later, they're like, I don't get the whole like craze with Anderson Silva. Like, I just see him lose, As we progress, people will not, unless they were there for it, will not remember Jon Jones as possibly the greatest fighter we've ever seen in the octagon. They're going to remember him as the scumbag who hits pregnant people with his car, who chokes out strippers, who gets arrested for domestic violence the night
shoots guns with homeless people.
Shoots guns with homeless people. Yeah. Gets arrested for domestic violence.
Though.
Yeah. The night of, I mean, maybe this was celebratory, right? He got inducted to the Hall of Fame and then allegedly commits domestic violence. So maybe that's just how he celebrates, Is
that what it was this time? It was domestic violence?
I believe he was charged with domestic violence and battery and damaging a vehicle. We'll see.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm just tired of hearing from this guy.
With his fame and stature, right, we might not ever really know the whole story of this one.
Hey, but also your UFC, when do you cut this guy?
No. Can't let him fight somewhere else.
Ah, God, it's ridiculous, man. All right. Do we have anything else, Rich?
We sure do. We have Kevin Gastelum considering moving back down to welterweight. Please let me know, what division is he in now if he's moving down to welterweight?
It's Calvin Gastelum.
Sorry, Calvin
Gastelum right now. He fights in the middleweight division.
Let's not get too excited of leveling up Rich's out of casual.
Kelvin.
There we go.
Got him.
But yes, I think we said it before. He should be in the welterweight division.
Oh, everybody says he should be in welterweight. I don't know if he's even allowed to be in welterweight. He was forced to move to welterweight. It's not like he chose to go to middleweight. He forced.
Missed weight so many times that they're like, dude, if you want to continue fighting, you're going to have to fight at middleweight.
Yeah.
And even then, they're like, oh, he needs another hour to be able to make weight on weigh-in. So
listen, man, he bulked up. He got a bigger frame for middleweight, so it's tough.
Yeah, that's what it is. It doesn't have anything to do with just the way that he eats.
Enchiladas. Oh.
But come on, like him at 170, he'd be an absolute monster.
Yeah. He definitely needs to be at 170. It's just, I'll believe it when I see it. I saw that headline and I was like, okay, yeah, I'd love to see it, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. It's like I'd love to see Jon Jones fight Stipe or Francis at heavyweight, but I'm not going to get my hopes up.
True. Jon Jones not getting arrested is like him not eating his tamales.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true. All right. What else, Rich?
Yeah, we got our final one. Why is everything this guy does, why is it news? Conor McGregor throws out the first pitch.
Look at how happy he is in this picture.
He does look really happy. I did pull up the video of it. Hopefully it works. It takes a second for me to pull it up. So just answer that question. Why is everything this guy does, why is it considered newsworthy?
Conor McGregor has transcended the sport, man. He's gone into pop culture. Anything that this guy does, like everybody needs to know about it. Or even if not everybody needs to know about it, everybody has an opinion about it, right? So HLBK Omer coming through again says Gastelum needs to switch it up and go to light heavyweight. He's just going to continue. He's just going to continue going up here pretty soon. Pretty soon, we're going to be talking about Calvin Gastelum at heavyweight. We're going to be like, you should be fighting at light heavyweight.
Can you guys see the video?
Because you can't make weight at heavyweight. All right, here's the video. Let's see this.
Give me the critique. I know you guys like baseball a lot, so give me some form analysis here.
Okay, well, first of all, his suit's way too tight.
Yeah.
Took another one today.
First of all, that's a balk.
Throwing out the first pitch, it was not a good one. Actually, it was a really bad one.
It's like he threw a left hook.
All right.
It just said
Can you
release the
pause it
ball
right
here?
Can you pause it right when he releases the? If you press the comma, I believe you can go like frame by frame on.
Oh, he's
Okay.
a sidewinder.
Yeah. So first off, he didn't step very far. I don't think he can with the
That's what I'm
pants,
saying.
right?
His suit's too tight.
And you, unless you know what you're doing, you kind of want to you want to step towards the plate, not towards the photographer. Yeah, that's your first step. Can you go back a little bit, Rich, to where he starts the throw motion? Okay. Can you change speed? Let's go 0.5.
Oh, we're really breaking this down, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
Was not.
Pause. Okay. The right arm. The right arm follows the leg, right? What you want to do is you want to the leg and the arm that you aren't throwing with, you want to be shooting to home plate, right? Because that's where your body's going to follow. As you plant, you tuck your elbow, and that allows the other hand to come over the top or across the side, right? But that's how you aim, is with your lead leg and your lead arm. If you notice, the lead arm goes towards the dugout. The lead leg goes to the photographer.
That's where the ball goes.
So naturally, that's where the ball's going to go.
This really is mixed martial arts in podcast form.
No, so it's so funny though, because they were talking about this and they're like, who had the worst first pitch? 50 Cent,
50 Cent.
or McGregor? 100%. I still give it a 50 Cent because McGregor's at least had velocity on it.
Yeah, it's all it had.
It had velocity.
Yeah.
Where 50 Cent's first
Good
pitch.
one. Actually, it was a really bad one.
I saw someone that was like, yeah, he threw it to the first row because there was someone that refused to blink proper 12.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, word on the streets, he yelled at the catcher telling him that his wife was in his DMs as well. So
yeah.
Man, rough time. Anything else, Rich?
No, that's all I got. That's it for the news roundup this week.
Awesome. The one more thing I did have though was Aljamain Sterling out of the fight against Petr Yan.
Yep.
They're talking about an interim title.
Yeah.
Corey Sandhagen.
That's what they're talking about, right? That's what they're saying. It's just weird, right? Because he just lost, right? Arguably lost. Obviously, it was a close fight. TJ can't step in, right? I think they're talking about doing an interim. In my opinion, you strip Aljamain of the belt and
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, and you do a vacant title fight. I don't really know why they're not doing that because, I mean, why wouldn't you do that?
I don't know. It's just this is crazy to me at this point, man. But at least an interim. At least they have to get something done with that division. We got to get it moving. We can't have Aljamain Sterling just putting a halt to the entire division. So,
yeah, I mean, people were calling for him to be stripped when he had to get surgery after that first fight.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I cannot believe that we're in this position now. Corey Sandhagen's starting to look like Lil Dicky out there. And they showed him in the crowd. Yeah. Not the hair, but like the beard and just like something about his facial structure. I don't know if he has the underbite quite as much, but he reminded me of Lil Dicky out there.
Well, there we go, man. We talked how to throw a first pitch. We talked about Lil Dicky came up now. I mean, how can you make this an even better episode now? I don't know.
I don't know.
So before we head out, do you have anything else on the entire card, Will?
No. The card delivered, though. It was a
fun card.
Very fun card.
Bruce, Bob Trotter, I hope you subscribe because it was fun going back and forth with you. You know, so Spotify, Breaker, Podcast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, of course, YouTube's as well. Shout out HLBK Omer. He's a real one. Shout out Brian that hopped on as well. You know, is it JPZ on the last episode where my laptop decided to turn off right as we were signing off? So shout out JPZ if he listens to this. But thank you to everybody that hops on and makes the show better by commenting while we're going live. It's so fun to go back and forth with everybody.
It makes it so much better.
A blast. It's a blast.
Yeah, we're not just talking to the void.
Yeah, dude, exactly. All right. Well, do we have anything else?
Next week, Sunday morning. Oh.
Next week, Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific. We'll be live covering the card. Thiago Santos versus
Johnny Walker.
We'll be here live.
Walker. And shout out to Rich the Casual and Araceli for coming through last night, watching the card live.
I know.
Rich the Casual watched some fights live. So exciting. Thanks, everybody, again. And thank you, everybody, for listening to another week of Story of the Fight. Rich the Casual watch fights. It's nuts.